Today is a good day. Massive news for Pokemon Pocket Ranked. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my favorite tweet of the year. And I'm gonna be yapping quite a bit here, okay? Like I should have like a yapping disclaimer. Like I'm gonna be rambling because I have a lot to say. I am so excited seeing this. I think I'm a little bit late to the party, you know, but I am kind of like taking a little bit of a break from social media because there's a lot of angry people on social media, so I don't open my apps as much. But oh boy, was I don't even know where to begin. Like, this is huge. This is everything that I wanted. I'm gonna, like I said, this video is not gonna be scripted. I'm gonna be a little bit all over the place, but I have a lot to talk about here, and I'm gonna try to explain why this is such an amazing announcement. Not everything about this announcement is great, though. I have some issues personally with the dates of implementation, but we're gonna dive into that soon as well. For those of you who don't know what the hell is going on, all right, I'm gonna read the tweet real quick, and you'll get an idea of what this is. Basically, future update to ranked matches. The following updates are planned in order to make ranked matches more enjoyable. First of all, starting after the season beginning in late June, so basically the next season, not this one that's going to happen like right now, but the one after. A consecutive win bonus will be added to Ultra Ball and Master Ball rank. And then in the following season, okay, so 2 seasons from now, players will no longer, this is a big one, will no longer drop from the following ranks mid-season, including Master Ball to Ultra Ball and Ultra Ball to Great Ball. Please note that there are currently no plans to change drops in rank that are applied at the beginning of the season. So I assume what they were saying here is that this season nothing is happening, which is kind of like, not everything about this tweet is sunshine and rainbows. Essentially, they're gonna take a while to implement this, especially for like what I personally believe to be the most impactful, most important change for rank. This one is coming a while from now, okay? So it's exciting, but at the same time, we're gonna have to be a little bit patient. But I'm gonna explain why I'm so excited about this, why I think this is such a positive thing for the game as a whole. And obviously, there's a significant amount of bias towards this as a content creator, and I'm also gonna dive into that as well. Today you're getting the podcast. I mean, I'm not trying to go an hour into this, right? But, I do want to talk, and there's no script, and I'm just going to yap. So hopefully you're okay with it, because I have a lot to say. But let's try to not, let's try some structure and order in this talk. Otherwise, I'm just going to go all over the place. Let's start here, okay? We're getting consecutive win bonuses for Ultra Ball and Master Ball rank. So, for those of you who don't know, this is a card gaming channel, basically. I've been uploading videos for well over a decade. A little bit over a decade. It's not that much more over it. I'm not that old, okay? I started the channel on Pokemon Wi-Fi battles and Pokemon Showdown in the X and Y era, which makes me really excited for the new games, by the way, because I really like the Pokemon X and Y games. I know that can be considered a controversial opinion because people, some people think they're amazing, some people think they're terrible, but I'm a big fan of the games. Like, especially they have that nostalgia factor for me because it's what brought me back into Pokemon and what made me or compelled me to create a YouTube channel, right? So, yeah, I started with that, but then afterwards I transitioned to card games. So I did that for like a year or two, and then maybe like a couple of years, and then I transitioned to card games, and that's what I've been covering so far. I've covered Duelist, I've covered Gwent, I've covered Magic the Gathering Arena, I've covered Artifact, rest in peace. I've covered Shadowverse even, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel for a little bit as well. I've played Legends of Runeterra for a long time, as a lot of you know, and now we're focusing on Pokemon TCG Pocket. So I have a big background. Like, if it's a mainstream digital card game, it's pretty certain that I've played it. And I bring this up because I have a lot of experience when it comes to ranked systems for card games, right? And in this case, with Pokemon Pocket specifically, I believe the ranked system, first of all, I was very excited for it. I think them releasing ranked was overall a very, very good thing for the game. It gives people a sense of purpose, something to work towards within the game, and I couldn't really imagine Pokemon Pocket without it at this point. So I want to clarify that. Rank system for Pokemon Pocket, very good. Very, very good, okay? And nobody should think otherwise. But I do think the implementation of the rank system itself had some big issues. And they basically are covered here, really. First of all, it's extremely grindy. When you combine Pokemon Pocket to other card games like Magic the Gathering Arena or Legend of Runeterra or even Marvel Snap, for example, the amount of games that you have to play in order to reach the highest rank is kind of absurd. Especially like the grind from Ultra Ball to Master Ball is ridiculous. You have to play an absurd amount of games in order to reach the rank compared to other card games. I mean, obviously Pokemon Pocket is a game with a lot of variance. There are just some matches where there's nothing you can do. Even you can be playing the best deck ever and everything, and you have like the best decision making and skill set available for this game, but it doesn't, like, sometimes you're gonna get blown out, right? Variance is strong within Pokemon Pocket. I would argue it's not as strong as it is, nowhere near as strong as it is in a game like Marvel Snap. Marvel Snap has a lot more variance, but Marvel Snap has the Snap system. So Marvel Snap is more equivalent to a game like poker, in that you will be rewarded for acknowledging when you can't win, or when you can see victory in a very dire situation and, fool your opponent into thinking they're going to win and snap into them. Like, the snap mechanic in that game specifically balances out the tremendous, ridiculous amounts of variance that the game has. Pokemon Pocket is a much more toned down version of that, but there's a significant amount of variance within it as well. We got coin flips, right? So the reason for the rank system being so grindy from a design perspective, in case you're wondering, is because of the high variance of the game. If you force players to play out more matches, if the match pool increases, then the variance will ultimately balance out. That is the whole point. It's not like they just like get off on forcing you to play a bazillion games to reach the Master Ball. There's a reason for this, right? But that doesn't take away from the fact that it's extremely grindy. And the lack of a win bonus within Ultra Ball rank specifically makes the Ultra Ball, Master Ball grind significantly rougher than, all the prior ranks before. Now, you don't want to make things like super easy for people. You want people to have a sense of accomplishment when they reach the highest ranks. But regardless of your skill set, regardless of your win rate, like, you're going to have to play a lot of games. Like, that is undeniable. And this, paired with the lack of a rank threshold for Ultra Ball and Master Ball, these two aspects combined, I would argue this has a bigger weight, leads to players just stop playing ranked, right? Like, I see a lot of posts on social media of people who make it to Ultra Ball 1, and comments on my videos as well. People who make it to Ultra Ball 1, not even Master Ball, just Ultra Ball 1, and they just don't play anymore. Because they're aware of the gargantuan journey ahead of them to reach it to Master Ball, and they're also threatened with the possibility of losing the rank that they already earned. That feels really bad. Okay, that is why literally every other digital card game under the sun has a rank threshold. Once you make it to Infinite in Marvel Snap, you stay there. Once you make it to Mythic in Magic the Gathering Arena, you stay there. Once you make it to Masters in Legend of Runeterra, rest in peace, you stay there. All right? There's very little to no downsides to this. And the people who argue against it, the people who defended this from the get-go, the majority of them clearly don't have a card gaming background. I don't mean to sound like an elitist when I say this, it's just a fact. Like, you can tell when you talk to them and you bring out other card games, they don't know what you're talking about. They think, well, because one of the defenses is like, oh, but this makes it more competitive. Rank should be competitive. You shouldn't like be able to camp out on a specific rank and stuff. It's going to affect the climb for other people because people are going to concede more easily. People are not going to take games as seriously. None of this actually applies to reality. This system has been implemented from, the dawn of time in all card games, I think from the Hearthstone initially. And it's just how it is, because it feels really bad, and it's very anxiety inducing You know, we're talking about like regular players here who want to test their decks in ranked against people who are trying to win, you know. It's very anxiety inducing to have the rank that you earned just being taken away from you just like that. Like the fact that you can make it to Master Ball and then one loss will take you back down to Ultra Ball is awful. It's an awful experience. It adds nothing but stress, and it also heavily discourages experimentation. I'm used to ranked stress. Like I'm used to, you know, climbing ranked and having things on the line. Like I've been doing this for a long time. And in every single game that I've covered, I've always aimed to reach the highest rank. Because quite simply, it's my responsibility as a content creator. Like I'm sharing decks and I'm trying to provide you with, you know, the most optimized way of playing a specific Pokemon that you want to play with. And why would you listen to me if I'm not capable of reaching the highest rank in the game? Right? Like I have to let you know that I know what I'm doing to a certain extent, right? I don't claim to be the best player in the world, but I do have a certain skill set that is required for what I do. So I have, even though I don't enjoy the rank system as it is now, I do make sure that every season I make it to Master Ball. But you have noticed that this season, I have barely played ranked in my videos. I had one video where I really focused on the grind, which was my 80% win rate Turtonator video. You can check it. It was uploaded, I think like a couple of weeks ago, maybe, something like that. This was my climb to rank. Basically, I streamed it. I showcased my run through Ultra Ball 4 to Master Ball. We had an amazing run. Like we went 24-6 with an 80% win rate with a dedicated anti-meta deck, essentially. I think Charizard EX matches up really well. At least, you know, I don't know if the meta has shifted a little bit, but when I was playing at that particular moment, what I was queuing into, Charizard lined up really well, and Turtonator I found was very underrated, and I designed a deck that had essentially two broken openers, either Turtonator, Kiawe, or Charmander, Rare Candy, Charizard EX Stoke. And whenever I was, you know, the vast majority of the games, I was able to open with one of the two. And that was the theory behind it, right? And it was a cool experience to showcase the climb and all that. But the thing is, what I do is not viable long term with the rank system as it is now, which is why I don't enjoy playing ranked in Pokemon Pocket as the system is, because I showcase a brand new deck every day. And what you get on this channel is the final product. After a lot of hours of experimentation, trial and error, there's so many ideas that don't come to light because they're just downright garbage. And I try my very best to keep the daily uploads without sacrificing the quality of the decks that I'm sharing. I want to share decks that I know for a fact are competitive enough to be able to stand their ground against the very best decks in the game. That's the gist of what I do. But in order to reach these final products, like I said, there's a lot of trial and error. There's a lot, I'm trying a lot of different ideas. Some ideas just, no matter what I do, they're just like doomed to from the beginning, right? But I have to get my hands dirty. And if I get my hands dirty with the current rank system, I'm gonna be fluctuating up and down from ranked like crazy. And I'm going to be deranking from Master Ball. And sometimes I'm very stubborn with an idea, so I'm just gonna keep losing, and then I have to climb all the way back up with something else. And it's just, it adds so much like stress, and it really affects, like, it affects the content. It's just something that's not viable with the way I do things, essentially. Like, I have always made sure to reach the highest rank, and there I experiment. And I run into people who are either experimenting like me, or people who are try-harding like crazy. They're just playing Darkrai Giratina and they just want to win and reach the highest they can. And I like facing all these kinds of players. I like facing try-hard players because if I can defeat players like that with a rogue deck, that makes for good content, right? But the thing is, this system, not having that threshold, like really harms that approach. Right? You don't need me to tell you that changing a deck literally every single day is not the most efficient way to climb ranked. and experimenting with new ideas, you know, not knowing if it's going to work out, it's going to be amazing, or it's going to be downright terrible, is not good for that. So I was in a situation where I was just like, I don't enjoy doing content for ranked, and I'd rather, what I do is I record random matches and I make sure that I showcase games against players. The vast majority of the players that I showcase are ranked Ultra Ball and higher. Like if I queue into somebody who's ranked like beginner or Pokeball, I just don't showcase that game in the video because I tried to showcase like actual decent matches, right? Against competitive decks and also people experimenting too. You know, I'm not the only one trying new things out. This is a massive change that's going to benefit not just me, but regular players as well. Now, the moment you make it to Ultra Ball, I mean, not now, but you know, by the season in late July, which is kind of sucks. The moment you reach it to Ultra Ball, you'll keep that ranked. The moment you reach it to Master Ball, you'll keep that ranked. And for those of you who think that this is going to make the quality of the ranked ladder and the matches decline, that's not the case. Also, I do enjoy actually playing in Master Ball, because I haven't clarified this. I enjoy playing there because while everything that I described, you may think, well, you can just experience that in random battles anyways. The difference is if I play in Master Ball rank, whether I'm facing people who are like me experimenting or facing people who are tryharding, the common denominator here is I'm running into players who have managed to reach Master Ball as well. That means they are the top echelon of the player base. And that's the kind of players I want to queue into. That's the kind of players who I want to showcase matches against. So this change is going to allow me to do that without having to worry about experimenting with all sorts of wacky ideas in the process. And I love that. Obviously, I'm biased as a content creator because of the way I approach things, but I argue this also significantly. I mean, there's a reason why they're doing it, right? Because all these players who just reach Master Ball and just camp there, they just don't play any more games, or players who reach to Ultra Ball and just don't play any more games, now you don't have anything to worry about. Now you have that pressure off of you. You made it to this rank. You earned this rank. The only way to go is up or just staying where you are. Like that could happen, right? But you don't have this awful experience of losing the rank that you just had. That was a very, very negative feeling for a huge amount of I'm pretty sure that the data just showed that so many players just stopped playing ranked because of this. And that's fundamentally going away, which is amazing. Like, this is an incredible change for the game, and it's just going to make ranked overall a much more pleasant experience. It's still going to be a grind, you know, like the consecutive win bonus will make the Ultra Ball grind easier and faster, which is a good thing. But it's not going to negatively impact those who just want a full-on competitive try-hard experience out of this game. Like, that's not, you know, there's still going to be a leaderboard. There's still going to be like a top 10,000, top 5,000. And if you want to make it to those points, you gotta play good decks and have good win streaks to do so. Like, yes, you have to play a lot of games, but you have to have a really solid performance overall. And that's not changing. Like the quality of the matches there, that's not going anywhere. Like, in fact, when people bring up this notion that, oh, now people are gonna concede more often and stuff, people concede super fast and ranked anyways, because when you know you lost, you'd rather save time because of the grindy nature of the experience. You'd rather save time and get the hell out of that game and immediately queue into another one. So that argument falls flat on its face, like, immediately. This is going to be nothing but positive, nothing but an improvement. This is how ranked should have been from its implementation. And, you know, I understand that while I do say that all other card games do this, all other card games don't have a ranked system that is as grindy as this one. So they probably wanted to keep the competitive integrity in check and stuff, but it was ultimately a misguided design. I don't mean to be disrespectful here, but it was very clearly not the way to go, and I was very vocal about this from the get-go. This was a big, big issue for me, and it's finally being fixed. The downside is we gotta wait, right? not even like this season that we're gonna head into with the extra dimensional, the Ultra Beast expansion. I forgot the name. That's not gonna. Things are gonna remain exactly the same. And then in the next season, in late June, we're getting the consecutive win bonus. I don't know why they can't implement both of these simultaneously. I assume that the reason why they're delaying this one so much is because it's gonna take some heavy like programming. Like it's gonna be a lot of like changes to like the infrastructure of the code. I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm talking about here. I'm not a IT guy. But I would assume that it's going to take more time to implement effectively. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not the case if somebody like is actually knowledgeable about this. I wish this would be implemented at the same time as this though, because this is the biggest problem for me specifically and for most players, I would argue. So prioritizing the consecutive win streak over that is not something that I'm super happy with, but hey man, I'll take it. Like I will. I will definitely. I'll wait if I have to, because this is going to, the content is going to be a lot better in my opinion. From my experience, like just the videos that we'll upload, because basically once this is implemented English, we're only uploading ranked. We'll no longer be playing random battles. Like we'll be fully focusing on ranked from the get-go, which will make my recording sessions easier actually, because I do have to. There's a lot of non-games and a lot of like really just like every time I queue into somebody who's like Pokeball, I have to actually play the game out, because if I just automatically concede, then my MMR gets affected. So the recording sessions will be quicker. The quality of opponents will be more consistently good, and it's going to be amazing. It's what I've done for a long time. Like I've done this with Magic, with Legend of Runeterra, with a bunch of card games. I've had this modus operandi, and it's worked for a very long time. And I'm really, really excited to be able to implement it fully when this change happens. I'm extremely, extremely excited about it. But at the same time, I have to be patient, because this is like late July. So basically, we have to wait. It's 2 months. It's 2 months. It's not like the worst. It's 2 months. So, it's 60 days. It's quite a bit of time. I'm going to make copium here. But all in all, this is just going to be amazing. And I've been yapping for like 20 minutes about it. I'm just very, very excited, because I wasn't very hopeful, man. Like I thought that ranked was going to stay as it is. But honestly, like now in hindsight, it just kind of seems inevitable, because I kept seeing so many posts and comments in my own videos from people who just like, no, I just make it to Ultra Bowl 1. I stop playing. And it makes sense. It makes sense. People don't want to stress it. Most people who play this game are not trying to be like the best player in the world. They just want to have fun. They want to play with some cool cards, some cool decks, some fun ideas. And they want to, earn their ranks. So if these people like make it to Ultra Bowl 1, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, if you lose one game, you're back to Great Ball. It's like, well, fuck that. Like, no, okay. I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to play random matches instead. Right? Like, it's just not, what a lot of like the more competitive player base like needs to understand, that they are the minority here. Like us who like try hard a lot, we're like the 0.1%, right? And inherently making the rank experience so stressful with this like lack of like rank threshold is just gonna put a lot of people back. Like, and I think they definitely, like, they got the data, they definitely looked up, and they realized that this is probably like, this is even more of a big deal than we think, I believe. They probably have like massive, like there's so many players who just stop playing after a certain point, and they're just like, you don't want people to stop playing your game. So do what you should have done from the get-go, and make sure that once people earn a rank, they get to keep it, and make the climb, in the higher ranks smoother. I don't have a huge opinion on win streak bonuses being there for Master Ball rank. I don't actually think this is necessary personally, but I'm also not like super against it either. Like I don't really think too much about it. But I do think that it's going to be very, very good for those of us who want to grind through Ultra Ball and want to have to, basically good players will have to play less games. So that's just inherently a positive thing especially like for getting that Master Ball rank. And yeah, this is going to be really, really good news overall for players and particularly for this channel. I'm really excited for them to implement this. We'll have to be patient for these next couple of months, but it also speaks volumes to like how they really are thinking ahead. Like, I remember when this game was released, a lot of people claimed it was just going to be a cash grab. They were just going to go on it for a little bit and they just like pull the plug, right? And these sort of announcements, this time frame as well, is a clear indication that Dina wants Pokemon Pocket to have a long life, and that is not always the case with digital card games. Speaking, I do have a decent perspective on that. Like I've seen a lot of card games just be absolutely dead on arrival. Like Artifact was the most exaggerated version of that. But I think Pokemon Pocket has a bright future ahead. I think one thing that a lot of people may have an issue with is the frequency of content release when it comes to expansions, right? It can be hard to keep up with for some players. That obviously benefits me as a content creator, but I do understand that this is an issue for a lot of people, and that may. But all in all, I think this game has a bright future ahead, and I'm really, really excited to see how they keep, building up the card pool and keeping things fresh. And this is an amazing announcement that I definitely wanted to cover because this is, for me personally, this is the most important announcement so far in the history of this game, and I am very, very excited for what's to come out of it. So I'm going to stop yapping at this point because it's been 27 minutes. Thank you for coming to my podcast. Just rambling. It's just a subject that I'm very passionate about. And I also wanted to make use of this video to just kind of like express, why I do what I do the way I do, English, and why I personally have such an issue with the rank system as it is now and how it affected the content that I make. And hopefully I clarified all that without yapping too much. I mean, this is kind of what happens when I don't have a script. This is why I script my intros, because otherwise I just end up rambling for like 30 minutes over a tweet. Like, now you know. So, if you enjoyed this TED Talk, because it was something else. Love you. Have a soul day. Thank you for watching. We'll be having a gameplay video tomorrow. We're bringing Conco there. And then we got the new expansion. And oh boy, we're going to get onto that immediately. We'll be streaming it as well. Love you. Have a soul day. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.